Welcome back to Keep It Real Boxing. This is Cypher Box, and you've guessed it, you know what I want to talk about. It's up on the screen. Bellew versus Haye, the rematch, December 17th. That's a Sunday. I repeat, it's happening on a Sunday night, December 17th. Not happening on Saturday the 16th because the O2 Arena is booked out, according to Eddie Hearn. So they've settled for the Sunday night. So if you're planning to have a few drinks, have a bit of get together with your friends around your house, order the box office fight, or if you're just sitting at home yourself and planning to have a few beers, etc., you might want to consider taking off Monday as a day off from work. Just a little tip for you guys. Moving on, let's talk about the fight. Am I happy this rematch has been made? Yeah. I think the first fight, I think we all thought originally it was a joke, but because of the build-up of the fight, because of how Tony Bellew got the fight in terms of what he did when he was the cruiserweight champion of the world at the time, at WBC title holder. He beat BJ Flores. David Haye was ringside, commentating that night, and he just laid it on him big time. And the fight was made from that point on. And then the build up to that fight, things that they're doing and saying on social media, Sky Sports, the gloves are off, the press conferences, trying to, David Haye punching Bellew in the face, or attempting to anyway. And, even the press conferences leading up to the fight on fight week were intense. The ones that happened in Liverpool, etc. So it was, it was a great build-up. It was entertaining, plenty of trash talking. I loved it, and obviously that got us all invested in this fight. Even though we all thought, and let's not lie, I know a lot of people out there are going to say, no, I always said Bellew was going to win. I know what people are like out there. They always say that when something like this happens. But in actual fact, deep down in your heart, you had Haye. You picked Haye to win this fight. You had him as the favourite, and you thought he would knock him out in the first few rounds. Let's not get it twisted. I'm not going to accept anyone telling me, I picked Bellew. No, you didn't. You didn't. All right. Let's talk about David Haye since he's come back. Disappointing. We all know that. The first two fights against, I can't even remember their names. There were a couple of nobodies. He says he took those fights because he had to feel his body out after having to retire a few years before that due to an injury. He said he needed to see how that injury had healed. I don't agree with the caliber of opponents he's fought, but I understand his thinking behind that. You're not going to go in there with a DILLIAN and WHYTE. You're going to go in there against guys who you're going to kind of see like, all right, how is this injury? How have I fully recovered? Have I rehabilitated from the issue I was having? So that I understand. I'm not trying to make excuses or anything like that for David Haye, because I have been disappointed with. And then the only real fight he's had is Tony Bellew, which he lost. And let's talk about the first fight. So you all know what happened in the first fight. If you don't know, that injury, there was a rumour for that injury. IFL TV did an interview with Tony Bellew, and he was saying that, David Haye's making excuses already. And he actually mentioned in that interview that David Haye said he's got a problem with his Achilles heel. Now, going into the fight, no one talked about it. Sky Sports never talked about it. And then in the fight, 6th round, boom, his Achilles heel goes, and that's it. It's all Bellew after that. Now, the first few rounds, let's be honest, David Haye came out, he was rushing Tony Bellew, trying to get that one punch knockout. You can see why, because he knew he had an issue with his Achilles heel, and he thought, let me get him out of there quick, and that's it, that's the end of this fight. Didn't work out that way for David Haye. I think he underestimated Tony Bellew's boxing abilities, because Tony Bellew was making him miss, coming back with counter punches. I have to admit, really impressed with how Tony Bellew handled himself in those first few rounds. Then David Haye slows it up and thinks, right, okay, I'm not going to get him out in the first few rounds. I just need to grind him down and keep going. And eventually that Achilles heel gives in the 6th round. Now from that point on, it's all Tony Bellew. David Haye could barely, keep weight on that foot. keep balance or generate any sort of power. And you got to understand, a lot of people are going to say, why you're making excuses. No, you're not making excuses. If you understand boxing, yeah, and you understand the sport, that you know you need momentum to generate power in your punch. That comes from twisting and turning your body into all your punches, yeah. So you generate, your legs are important because that plays an important part in you generating power for your punch. Your punch, the power for your punch doesn't just come out of your bicep; it comes through your whole body, turning into the punch. And if you can't put weight on one of your feet, on your foot, and twist into and turn into your punches to generate that power, that momentum and that power, you're going to struggle. And that's what happened. David Haye couldn't do any of that, and Tony Bellew, just beat on him after that point for the next 5 rounds. He couldn't. Tony Bellew couldn't even knock out a one-legged man. Let's face it, he beat a one-legged man. Let's keep it real. Yeah, like I always like to say, let's keep it real. He beat a one-legged man. Yeah, a one-legged man who couldn't stand on his feet properly, couldn't generate power, couldn't keep balance. You beat a one-legged man. So I'm not going to give you all the credit in the world. I give credit for the fight and the drama that it brought. It was exciting and enjoyable to watch. But I'm not going to give Tony Bellew all his credit for winning that fight when, in actual fact, he beat a one-legged guy. Guys, most boxers can fight, through the pain of, an injured shoulder or a broken hand or, twisted arm or whatever it might be, but your feet and your legs are important. If you get an injury there, forget it, it's over, the fight's over. You're literally, hoping that you can pull something off. And that's what David Haye did. He kept going. Credit to him, he showed a lot of heart. To keep getting up and keep going forward. 11th round, went through the ropes, got back up, wanted to continue, McGregor threw in the towel. So, like I said, there's unfinished business here. Unfinished business, in my opinion. We've got to see a fully fit David Haye, hopefully, take on a fully fit Tony Bellew and see who truly is the best out of the two of them. I think the build-up's going to be interesting. I just want to quickly play you this video from Sky Sports. They did interviews with both men and got their opinion. Here it goes. Just going to play this for you.
I will stop David Haye probably quicker than last time also. As long as the fight goes, it's going to end badly for him. Believe you me when I say it. I said it last time. Everything I said in the build-up before the last fight, it all came true on the night. David's body will break down on him. This time, I don't believe it will. This time, that's what's going to break him down.
We will not hear the final bell. It's not going to go to points. There will be a conclusive knockout, and that's it. That's the prediction. I'm not going to say I'm doing the first round, second round like last time. Got that way wrong. But I'm telling you, he will not be able to last 12 rounds with me in a boxing ring. I felt his best. He believes he's felt my best. But December 17th is Judgment Day. Repeat or revenge. What is it going to be? Everyone's got an opinion. Everybody about this fight has an opinion, and that's what makes this fight so intriguing.
Okay, so as you saw there, both men promising, guaranteeing you in a sense that the fight's not going to go to the distance. Tony Bellew admitted that he was banking on Haye's body breaking down for that first fight, which it did. He doesn't believe it's going to happen this time round. This time he holds his fist up and says, well, this is what's going to stop him. Haye saying the same thing. He said, I'm not going to make a mistake and say that I'm going to knock him out early or anything like that. I'm going to make no predictions. All I'm going to tell you is not going to go the distance. And, it's an intriguing fight. And I agree, it is an intriguing fight. It's an intriguing rematch to see what's going to happen. Is Tony Bellew going to be able to pull off what he did last time, a win? Or is David Haye going to, come into the ring and prove that last time was, Tony Bellew was lucky last time because he had an injury and he's just going to get him out. He's going to be the one who's going to knock out Tony Bellew. It'll be interesting to see what happens. The last fight, we all put our money, all of us out there said David Haye was going to win this fight. All of us had him as the favourite. So, this fight's a little different. We don't know what's going to happen. Don't get me wrong, David Haye's, he seems to have recovered well. His rehabilitation's clearly gone well. However, when you're injury prone, you're always injury prone. So these injuries that David Haye has, they've healed or they've fixed it for now, but there's no guarantee that they won't happen again. And that's the problem. Especially with the Achilles heel. You know, that's an iffy one. That can be a real iffy one, and that could happen again on this fight. So there's no guarantee that he's not going to step into that ring and throw a punch and then his shoulder's going to pop, or his Achilles heel's going to go again. There's no guarantee that once you're injury prone, you're always injury prone. You know that. If you watch football, you know what I'm talking about as well. So, you know, the question is his body going to hold up? Yeah, if so, will Tony Bellew be able to take on a fully fit David Haye? The other thing I have to admit, David Haye didn't really land probably a full power punch on Tony Bellew, in my opinion, from what I remember. So it'd be interesting to see if Tony Bellew could take one of those full straight power punches, you know, with everything in it. You know, like I said, he obviously had an injury going into there. He wouldn't have been able to put weight on that leg. He wouldn't have been able to generate or create momentum in order to produce power in his punches. So it'd be interesting if David Haye is fully fit, like he's saying, and he's got no problems, you know, and he throws a real haymaker Tony Bellew's way. Will Tony Bellew be able to take it? Flip side of that is how David Haye's going to fight in it, because Tony's going to be smart. In the first fight, Tony Bellew showed a lot of ring intelligence in those first, especially in those first few rounds, where he was making David Haye miss and then, you know, throwing counter punches. You know, he was being very smart in there, and I think definitely Tony Bellew's going to be, you know, he's going to have to use that again this time round, and it'd be interesting to see if David Haye can find a way around that. So, like I said, it's an intriguing fight. I think it's definitely more intriguing, a lot more even this time round. And, you know, it's a fight Bellew had to make. And a lot of people will say, well, what do you mean by Bellew had to make it? Well, think about it. You know, he was in negotiations with Andre Ward to fight at cruiserweight against Andre Ward. Andre Ward's now retired. The fight with Joseph Parker doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime soon. Deontay Wilder, he tried that didn't work. He doesn't want to fight DILLIAN WHYTE. You know, he wants big fights, big paydays. So this was the only fight that was there. He had to make this fight. But it's on his terms, as it says on the screen. Bellew Haye this time, because Tony Bellew is the A side of this fight and David Haye is the B side of this fight. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this all works out and what happens and the build up and all that sort of stuff. So I am looking forward to it. It's going to be a big drama show again, that's for sure. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment. As always, like, share and subscribe. Oh, before I sign off on this one, let me just show you something. Where is it? There you go. I do have another YouTube channel, so I just want to give it a quick shout out. My other channel called Cypherbox Pro Boxing. It's where I do, basically what I do is boxing video highlights, and I've just done this recent one. I do promo videos as well for fights, and I've done a new fight promo for Canelo versus Triple G, the rematch. So go ahead and have a look at that. You'll find the link to that channel in all the videos, in all my descriptions, in all my videos, yeah? So go and have a look at that if you ever get the chance. Alright, until next time, this is Cypherbox reminding you to keep it